2K14. The more you enjoy the series, the more uploads I could. Hopefully you will like it.
Tip-off. It's all in good fun right now. Happy New Year's Eve. Thank you for joining us here on 2K Sports for the NBA. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. We're all dressed up and ready to go. And now we take a brief check at the matchups. Our starting five for both teams. And one of the players we'll be seeing in this one, Kobe Bryant.
You know what I love about Kobe, Kevin, is the evolution as a post scorer that he's shown. You know, early in his career, he was more of a guy who tried to run past you. Now it's about his footwork and his fundamentals down on the block, able to really get his shot off anytime he wants.
Yeah, we know he worked with Hakeem Olajuwon, one of the all-time greats, to develop some of those moves, and he can make shots with guys all over him. We know that, and so it makes sense for him to back them down first and try to get as close to the basket as he can. But even if he doesn't get all the way there, he's still got enough in his package to hurt you.
Lakers looking to make the most out of their home court advantage here at Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles. These are the games that challenge you, guys. They will have the work certainly cut out for them, but they believe they can come away with a win.
Checking out Los Angeles, they've really struggled much the same way they did a year ago. It just hasn't gotten much better for them.
But for me, they didn't show a whole lot of fight when the tide turned against them. And that's what the NBA is all about getting off the mat, because adversity is going to hit every single team. It's always how you respond that's important.
So the Bucks, their last game, a win against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
You know, so often in the NBA we talk about how you have to earn your points the hard way, but it didn't seem like that was the case. Everything came pretty easy.
Too many of their points came the easy way, Steve. You're right. On dunks and layups against a defense that didn't really put up much resistance.
You always like to get that first lead in the game.
Yeah, you know, Steve, a good way to set the tone early on there.
Young sets a screen for Kaman. Nash kicks to Bryant. Back to Nash. Pass to Gasol. Shot clock at 6. And that one's good.
Good way to start the game there. I mean, that's a nice inside bucket.
No question, Clark. I think they need to establish a presence down low early in the game to get their offense going.
And he gets it to go.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter. You know, it was a hot start last season for O.J. Mayo in Dallas, guys. A lot of people wondered if he finally turned the corner and become the star that people had expected when he was the 3rd overall pick back in 2008. His hot shooting wore off a bit, and by the end of the season, Coach Carlisle was starting to question his effort.
Now, here is Knight after Chris Kaman's miss. Offensive rebound, Sanders. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line. And for O.J. Mayo last season, still some positive signs. A career high in three-point percentage. One of the better years from the field. And I think the Mavericks really enjoyed him on their team.
Well, it seemed on the whole that the year went very well for him. He opted out of the final year of his deal, picked up a new multi-year contract, so we'll see how he continues to develop.
Free throw drops for Sanders.
Well, after a brief 2-year drought, the Bucks got back to the playoffs this past season, but it wasn't pretty once they got there. With several guarantees from players about upsetting the Heat, they didn't win a single game and were swept by the Miami Heat.
bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession.
Boy, that pass was in the air a long time. Long enough for him to get a finger on it anyway and send it out of bounds.
Lakers have gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started. Back to the Bucks in the playoffs. In every aspect, they were overmatched by the Heat, and no one really thought they would upset them. But many thought, Steve, that they would at least get a game.
Well, I wasn't one of them, Kevin. I thought they were overmatched from the start. And you could tell in that series, Miami wasn't even interested until the fourth quarter. They knew they could just flip a switch and beat this Milwaukee team. And that's exactly what they did.
Great open look there. Ilyasova got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
Yeah, I think that's what's keyed this run, Clark, because they're keeping the ball moving. Defense hasn't been able to set up.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles. This game against Milwaukee here. It's their first look at the Bucks.
Well, they split their season series a year ago, and remember, each team was battling for a playoff spot.
Lakers trail by 9. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've
Flip
had
it
a
on the
tough time
Chargers
getting
off
the lid
to
off the
make
basket
it
so
work.
far.
Here's Young from the arc. There it is. It's Nash picking up the assist. There's a lot of mid-conference teams, Clark, that get together and play some real tough, close, exciting games.
And that's not to be unexpected. I mean, they're evenly matched. And honestly, that's more fun to watch than a team full of superstars rolling over somebody and drumming them.
Bryant with it. Coming in off a 21-point game his last outing. And stolen by Mayo. They're running. A nice shot by Knight.
Boy, what a fantastic opening quarter for them.
Yeah, it sure has been. Look at the lead they've jumped out to already. Impressive.
Mayo against Kobe. Pass to Young. Outside Gasol. Kobe goes in. Pocket 6. Kaman inside. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give them 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Kaman gave up his old caveman look, guys, but he's still an intimidating presence in the post. Good size and strength and doesn't really get pushed around. Also excellent timing when it comes to shot blocking.
No good on the free throw. And Chris Kaman skilled offensively. Ambidextrous, finishing inside, and a good mid-range shooter.
Yeah, I think he's really good offensively. He's got a lot of skill. He's tough to handle. And the question mark with him is defensively. You know, his weak side rotations can be late. He's never really been, a center that you kind of solidify your defense around.
And he sinks the second.
You know, offensively last season, guys, the Lakers just never seemed to be able to get out of their own way. I mean, they had the worst turnover ratio in the league, and they really struggled to take care of the ball. And even when they got up a shot, a lot of them were questionable shots. They third in the league.
Here's tonight. A shot by Kaman, and he gets it to go from the high post.
He is just so good from that range, guys.
You know, never mind with the height advantage he had there.
And going back to the Lakers' offensive troubles last season, the worst free throw percentage, Steve, in the NBA.
And obviously that's attributed directly to Dwight Howard, because the Lakers also led the league in free throw attempts. So Howard was getting hacked. He really couldn't get going. He made about half his free throws for the season. And that just really carried over into the team's performance.
And stolen by Ilyasova. 1:21 left here in the opening quarter. Yes, and Knight with the assist that time. Ilyasova's got 6. And what's your take, guys, on the hustle steps for the Bucks?
Boy, their frenetic defense has really been impressive, putting a lot of pressure on ball handlers and turning them over.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnover. You know, next time he has that much space, he should just go straight up with it and leave the fadeaway at home. Park that fadeaway, take the shot that's available.
Mayo, that's good.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the three-point line. That's 4 of the last pass 5. You got to run those guys off the line.
I agree, and the defense is practically giving them those shots, though.
Here's Farmar. He's coming off a 10-point game against Philadelphia. And Young kicks to Bryant. Shot clock at 6. And he lays it straight in. Kobe's got his second bucket tonight.
Well, he wasn't phased at all by the bigger man on him. And on the low block, I thought he might be.
You know, Steve, I thought maybe he'd prefer to bring him out to the perimeter, but whatever works, go to it. They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
That was the 9th straight point from behind the arc, Clark. It feels like they're finding the holes in this defense.
Kicks to Farmar. There's the 3. Offensive rebound. Hill, no good.
Excellent challenge. He had a hand right in his face as he took that shot.
Yeah, you could see the hitch in his release because of his fantastic defense.
So as we end the first quarter, already at double digits. Start of the second quarter in just a moment.
Start your new year with the NBA. Thaddeus Young and the Philadelphia 76ers hit the road for a duel with the Denver Nuggets this Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific.
And we're getting back to the action in our New Year's Eve broadcast. Guys, we've seen the Bucks really take control here early.
Yeah, this team played an excellent first quarter offensively, moving the ball and getting a good flow to their offense. That's why you see those big assist totals.
Yeah, very timely passing for them, Steve, and that's why they've been able to jump out to this lead.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. Taking a look at Los Angeles. Nash and Meeks together in the back. Javier Henry is out there with Sean Williams. And it's Sacre in at the center position. Looking at Los Angeles, they took the win in their last game against Philadelphia.
And I thought, guys, they were the beneficiary of what was some lackluster defense being played against them.
You know, it's interesting. Part of the reason Nash struggled getting used to playing with the Lakers is because he was always the guy making the offense go. The offense ran through him with his prior teams. You know, at one point in his career, Nash was known more for his shooting than anything else. An interesting turnabout in his career.
Bucks leading by 12. Ridnour with it. Now defended by Henry. And Ilyasova kicks to Ridnour. Here's Udo. League history. And Steve, you think it makes sense for the Lakers to take him off the ball?
Well, it just depends on what the rest of the roster looks like. But last season, because they really didn't want to run their offense through their bigs inside, it forced the ball into Kobe Bryant's hands more. And Nash became more of a spot-up shooter as a result.
And Doris Burke has some for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, Kevin, a curious signing for the Bucks this offseason, bringing in Pachulia on a 3-year mid-level type deal. This is a team that already had a logjam in the front court with Sanders, Henson, Ilyasova, and Drew Gooden. The Bucks traded away promising forward Tobias Harris last year for what became a couple of second-round picks. They did much the same with Mbah a Moute. It's all about getting the most out of your assets. Guys, we'll see how the Bucks do shuffling their pieces around.
It'll be interesting to see. Thanks, Doris. Here's Sacre. And hit. Nice D from Udo.
Well, one of his issues is he's a player that just does not excel.
Yeah, it sure has, Clark. With as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they really haven't had to do much on the perimeter.
Here's Nash. After the made shot from Ridnour. Knocked away. Here's Meeks. So the whistle blows on the shot. 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Sometimes, Kevin, you could just look at a guy's release in a ball to go through the hoop.
Ever since his college days at Kentucky, he's been one of the best shooters on the planet, and that hasn't changed. You just can't leave him alone anyplace. And he knocks down the...
Surprisingly, the Bucks were one of the better teams from the East against the West last season, 14-16. which was better than most teams in the East and part of why they were able to make it into the playoffs.
Milwaukee making a switch here. Middleton's checked in. And so Meeks nails both of them. Well, back to the Bucks. With their small backcourt, they could have nights where they could just run teams to death, and they were able to take advantage of a few teams like that.
Well, the main thing is that they showed they weren't afraid of anyone. Ellis and Jennings would just try to run the ball down your throat, but in the end, it wasn't a combination that the Bucks felt confident with, and that's why they were willing to let Ellis and Jennings go.
Good, and the assist goes to Nash. Meeks got 5 points now in the quarter.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
Delfino kicks to Harris. Goes up on the high post. Leaps for it. And the shot falls short this time. Meeks dishes to Nash. Outside Gasol. He feeds it to Meeks. Fires from deep. And again, Los Angeles with a triple.
What a great little run he's on here in the quarter.
Here's Delfino.
Arden tight,
It's
though.
an 8-point differential. And there's the feed to Ridnour. Here's Harris. Milwaukee. No good that time either. And here's Los Angeles.
Wow, bro.
It's been 8 unanswered points for him. Nash against Harris. Right side Gasol. Knocks it loose. Nash kicks to Meeks. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And the shot is good.
I need to tighten up. I need to tighten
There's
up.
no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
This is beautiful basketball to watch, Clark.
And let's get this update now from Doris Perkins across the way on the side.
All right, pick and roll offense.
Over that
Okay, I
last
didn't know
break,
what's
Kevin,
going
I
on.
got a chance to hear what Larry Drew said to his team. He's looking for some old-fashioned offense right now. He wants the pick and roll to be the centerpiece of their game plan at that end of the floor. Well, Coach not wasting any time in tweaking the game plan. We'll see if it makes a difference as we approach halftime, Kevin.
Thank you, Doris.
3 consecutive defenses better start pulling down and tighten up.
Yeah, they're getting exposed right now. Remember last year, one of the stranger scenes of the season? Notice not only steals the ball from it. I mean, like the Keystone Cops out there.
Bucks leading by 6. Harris outside. Harris gets the screen from Butler. A look from Harris. And he sinks
There
the
you go.
shot coming off the strong pick. Harris has got his first 2 points. Well, back to Butler. I remember that play. Just a strange thing, Clark, to see. But
Because I was messing up in the beginning. I had a turnover. Can't turn the ball
Until
over.
that horn sounds, Kevin. Game wasn't close, so it was of no consequence and ended up being one of the more entertaining scenes from the NBA last year.
Hill passes to Gasol. Noah. Great D that time from Sanders. Milwaukee's gone 5 of 9 when they put up the 3-point shot tonight. Mayo dishing to Middleton. Noah.
Good shot, good shot.
And the Bucks lead by 10. Los Angeles has gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc so far tonight. There's the dish to Kobe. Wide open look. Good. And Farmar gets the assist. And it's 6 points for Kobe Bryant.
And a pleasure to watch him work at that end of the floor.
Harris outside. From 18 feet away. Second chance shot. And goaltending is going to be the call. So they get the basket there anyway.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on
I'm
the way
always
down.
having a bad day, man.
Knights checked in.
Like, when the coach want me to set a pick, I try to go to the left, but like, I'm trying to time it right. I always gotta have a bad selection.
Averaging 8 points a game.
That's why I don't like that.
Now the pass to Butler. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jordan Hill.
I don't like that. I tried to pass it in the post.
7 seconds
That didn't
left to play
work.
in the first half. Mayo kicks this in. Goes back up. Yeah, wow, he nails the buzzer beater.
Pretty shot without a second to spare. That can be so demoralizing for the team that gives up a shot like that to close out a quarter.
And so we conclude the first half. Milwaukee on top, up by 10. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. Coach Drew, I know you like to talk an awful lot about Hayes. Troll here.
And on the other hand, the Lakers are still alive. Outstanding bench production. Hopping in with us, it's time to head back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, who are all ready with the call. Second half. The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And now the third quarter, not to get going. We're seeing tremendous game play from Sanders.
And what was most impressive was that his decision-making and shot-taking was very disciplined and efficient. Really an excellent half.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Whether it's been from mid-range or inside, he is taking only what the defense has given him, and he's not trying to do too much. I love the flow and rhythm he's playing with here.
On the court for the Bucks, Ilyasova and Sanders in the middle. Mayo out there with Brandon Knight. And it's Butler in the small forward position.
He should have passed it to Mayo or Sanders.
Gut to say whether or
Brandon
not the
Knight.
Lakers would or would not make the playoffs after their slow start, but one person who guaranteed a postseason appearance by them was team leader Kobe Bryant, and he was right on top of it.
Now, here's Nash. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Out to Kobe. Again, the Lakers. And for Kobe, you have to give him a lot of credit for helping bring the Lakers back last season and securing that seventh seed. The coaching changes, the injuries. I mean, he almost willed them to get in, and then they finished seventh.
Yeah, and then they got swept in the first round by the Spurs. So tough finish to the year, especially with the injury to the Achilles tendon. So it's been a long rehab process. One thing you do know, if there's ever a player who's going to work his hardest to come back better than ever, it's Kobe Bryant.
Now here's Kaman after the miss from Sanders. And stolen by Ilyasova.
We're gonna see something.
Here's Butler. Not wasting any time and taking the shot and
Let's see.
knocking it down.
And I still got my PUBG videos. I doubt
He's
it
best
though.
as a spot-up shooter. When he can
I
play
doubt
off
it.
of his teammates and find openings on the perimeter, just catch and shoot. He's got a quick release, beautiful stroke.
He does such a nice job of getting himself squared up and in perfect position before the ball gets there, preparing before the pass.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Gentlemen, we talked before about Steve Nash last season cracking the elite 10,000 assist club, joining Stockton, Jay Kidd, Mark Jackson, and eventually passing Magic Johnson in assists. Well, now he's passed Mark Jackson as well to rank third all-time in career assists. It's an incredible career that includes 2 MVP awards.
He's something else, Doris. Thanks. And that one falls for Young.
Well, a coaching carousel for the Lakers last season. They made it only 5 games before firing Mike Brown. Then they decided to go in a new direction. And, boy, they went through 3 different head coaches before all was said and done. They never really were able to gain that consistency they were looking for.
So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe. And back to the Lakers' struggles last season. What do you think, Clark, were the main problems that, held them back from being the kind of title contender that they thought they were and a lot of people imagined they were?
Well, how much time do I have? 3 or 4 shot clocks worth? I mean, I think there were a number of issues, as you might expect. Injuries played a significant role, but I think there was discord over how they should play. Really no true identity. They were a big team trying to be small. The team without a number of shooters trying to spread the floor, older team trying to go up tempo, coaching change, and that transition.
Right, yes.
You had a lot of moving parts, and it made it very difficult for everybody, I think, and it showed in how the Lakers season went.
That's a good assessment. Here's Knight. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Well, Brandon Knight out of Kentucky is more of a combo guard than a pure point when you look at him offensively. So with his long arms and good athleticism and at 6'3", I think there's a lot of upside for him at the defensive end of the floor. I think he's a guy that can defend 1 and 2s effectively.
No good on that one. And for Brandon Knight offensively, he's still trying to figure it out.
I think he's best as a spot-up shooter. I mean, he does have some point guard skills. He's got some athleticism, but he's really an excellent outside shooter when he's got time to set up.
Our timeout called by Milwaukee. And as we get a break here, important for the teams to go over their own strategy, and for the players, this is where you have a chance to get rehydrated with Gatorade. So put out your best effort as the game wears on, guys.
You know, it's amazing when you're playing during a season, if you go through a stretch where you don't hydrate, it can have a major physical toll on you. Your body wears down quicker, you don't recover as fast, and that can really take its toll over the course of an 82-game season.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sideline.
Well, over the break, I listened in on Larry Drew's huddle. He got right to the game plan they needed to have against Kobe. Coach laid out what needs to happen if they're going to lessen the impact he's having on this game, which
I mean, I
so far has
would
been a
put
big one.
Streamlab on
The
every
next
single
thing he talked
device,
about was the pace
but
he'd like to see
the
them playing at
reason I don't want to do that
Wants
is
it to be a
because I
fast-paced
need
game,
one phone for
pushing
YouTube
tempo all
Studio.
the time. Probably a good time to make some changes with a good chunk of the second half still to go, Kevin.
And thank you for that, Doris. Now here's Kobe. He's got 12. Dishes to Nash. Pass to Gasol. 6 on the shot clock. Heyman fires the 3. It's Butler that time on the assist by Knight. 7 points for Caron Butler.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
Feeds to Young. Butler with the block, and they get it back. Up top, Knight, guarded by Kobe. Here's Silva, off the left rim and out.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open. And, you know, for the Lakers last season, a lot of turmoil. And you think about the coaching change, but it wasn't just that. It was a whole system change as well. And
Here's Sanders, hits the jump hook. Sanders has got 13.
You know, it seems like when they've gone to him, he's really come through, and that's not something they should get away from.
Timeout called the Lakers. And going back to the Princeton offense that Clark mentioned, Steve, tell us about that offense and why do you think it didn't work out?
Well, they only gave it 5 games, Kevin. I mean, Mike Brown was 1-4 when he got fired, and that's impossible to install an offense and expect it to work that quickly. So, I mean, I think the offense would have been fine if they had given it time and given Mike Brown some time to install it.
Hill, he's checked in for the Lakers. Johnson comes in for Bryant. And Nash, here we go. Shoots from the information boards, Doris.
Hi, guys. I had a chance to find out what Mike D'Antoni was discussing with his players. Too many of their shots have been low percentage, he told them. He wants better ball movement on the perimeter to get the shooters better looks. There's still plenty of
think Larry Sanders is one of the most improved players in the league, guys. I don't know where you stand on it, but, you know, he led the league in ejections, too, with 5. He's got the control and manages emotions a little better.
Looking at who's out there now for the Lakers. Xavier Henry, he's checked in for Young. And it's Farmar in for Nash. Sanders hits them both. Back to Sanders, he said he's taking steps to keep his composure, not getting to other players and feel the wrath of officials. Those technicals were piling up.
Well, Kevin, he's already made some nice strides in his approach to the game, just eating right, getting to the gym early. You really have to learn how to become a professional, and I think Sanders has made that next step.
And here is Knight, following the 3 from Farmar. And that one's good.
Really aggressive play, taking it to the rim against the big man.
Tell you what, I love that fearless attitude.
Good looking screen by Gasol.
Might eat some chicken
Farmar
and
gets to Johnson. Off target from
the
3-point
pasta today for lunch.
+5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady
Yes.
work they've been doing on the interior.
The blood nuggets have to
That's,
have it.
I think the main reason they have this lead. Had so much space there, and the defense really not showing him the respect. You can see his eyes get wide.
He kicks to Farmar. Back to Johnson. He dishes it to Henry. Just 4 to shoot. Goes up on the wing. Shot is off. And Milwaukee will come the other way. It's off to Utah for him after this game as they take on the Jazz. That matchup falls in the middle game of this 3-game trip.
You know, that Utah game has a lot of attention on it.
Carlos Delfino's checked in for the Bucks. Here's the screen. Excellent use of the screen that time. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back.
He had a whole lot of space to get that shot off.
Yeah, I don't think the defender did a good job there of getting over the top of the screen.
1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. Meeks passes to Johnson. Soft touch off the glass. Johnson's got his first basket of the night.
And this solid play in the paint continues, guys.
As we've watched him, and they've created one chance after another inside.
Here's Rittenauer. Solid defense there for Meeks. And here at the end of the 3rd quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Bucks lead by 12. Live from the Staples Center, you're watching 2K Sports. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. And it's time now to bring you our State Farm assist of the game.
This was an
Came with the Jerry thing because you got February, March, April. We got 3 more months. But we can finish up.
Down the middle. That's the Laker 5. Now here's Sanders. Poked away. Ilyasova dishes to Sanders. And stolen by Kanan. Nash outside. Tries to keep it alive. Ryan in the post. Defended by Walters. Ryan is double. And it's going to be a 3-second call.
man, a real mental lapse there at a terrible time.
Well, Steve, it would have been a big gap anytime, but especially when you're behind.
And so it's Milwaukee now. A 12-point game. And Walters kicks to Rittenauer. He dishes it to Delfino. Nash with the block. And that'll be Milwaukee as it goes out of bounds. Bucks retain possession. Gary Neal's checked in for Walters. From deep, Neal. The Lakers with the rebound. Nash has got his 3rd rebound tonight. Kanan sets a screen for Nash.
Bucks thought they had a plan to make a big push forward by pairing some talent together in the backcourt, but what seems to have happened is they are now mired in mediocrity, which is exactly where you don't want to be.
Free throw drop for Kaman. And back to Minnesota. They were the 8th seed in the East last year, but still finished 6 games under 500. Still a lot of work for them to get above 500 and be in a position where, Steve, they are, competing for home court in the playoffs.
Yeah, a lot of changes
Let me
for
see
the
if I
Bucks
can
in
look
the
up.
offseason. But a team that was able to sneak in last year, they're hopeful to make it once again this season. But it feels like they're kind of stuck in the middle right now.
When you're in the East, you don't have to necessarily be an above 500 team on the road, but you got to be close to 500. And the Bucks were a solid team on the road, and that's why they made the playoffs. A beautiful feed by Rittenhour.
Nash kicks to Young. Pass to Kobe. And that one's good. It's hard to talk about the Bucks that went 17-24 on the road last season. That might not be the most impressive mark, but it was still 7th best in the conference in terms of road wins.
Well, the East was pretty weak. We know that. And the Bucks making the playoffs at all was the perfect example of how weak the East was. But look, they can get better. They've got some young talent. They've got some things to be excited about. And one is the play of John Henson, second-year man from North Carolina.
Timeout called the Lakers.
Well, you got to put a body on your man when the shot goes up. That's just fundamental basketball. They're giving up way too many offensive rebounds.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Hey, Kevin, I was able to hear the advice Mike D'Antoni gave to his team during that break. He was not happy with their play to this point, telling them we're getting out hustled, plain and simple. There's still time, but we've got to dial up our effort. Kevin, we'll see if they have enough to get it done.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. Tippett goes in, and the Milwaukee lead is cut down now to just 9 in the bucket from Young. Milwaukee has gone 6 of 12 from outside, a very nice 50% mark, shooting the 3-ball well. Ilyasova passes to Sanders. It's Mayo on the way. From down in the low post, it goes. And the Bucks lead by 11.
And another gap in the defense found right there. This is one of the worst defensive performances I have ever seen.
Young outside. Shot's good. Young's got 5 points now this quarter.
Tired legs can affect you at the defensive end, and I think that's what's happening right here.
I agree, because as much offense as we saw early, we're seeing even more of it here late.
Now, here is Knight.
Top
Sanders'
scorer.
shot is off. Lakers trail by 9. Bryant drives in. No good. Excellent D there for Mayo. Bucks have gone 3 of 6 from the field so far in the 4th quarter. Knight dishes to Sanders. Lays it up and banks it in. Sanders has got 19 points.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
And giving up these easy chances is going to do wonders for their confidence.
Kaman kicks to Gasol. And so it looks like the Lakers will retain possession here. Fourth quarter of play, and over 3.5 minutes have gone by. Young's
I
outside
just don't
Bryant.
stick with if I focus on Android, it could probably be a different story.
Young out.
I don't know. Sometimes like no.
Lets it
I think I
fly. They lead by 11. 27 left in the game.
That ain't no problem. It's just, sometimes I be doing too much, that's all.
1:27 left in the 4th quarter.
ticket to the bench.
They playing good defense.
Mayo kicks this in.
They playing good defense. They just playing good defense. That's all. They just playing good defense. Once they play good defense, we can't really do nothing but just foul, keep fouling. But every time I foul, they don't want me to foul and go to the line. They want me to shoot bad shots. They want me to shoot bad shots.
Specialist role player into a legitimate starting center. I mean, he always had a knack for defense and blocking shots and rebounding, but he polished up his offensive skills enough to be an impact player.
Sanders hits them both. And for Sanders, some of his improvement offensively was just sticking to his strengths, finishing around the rim.
Yeah, he improved his shot selection. He's always played with a lot of energy, but I think his decision-making was the reason he finished third in most improved player voting last year.
That's
all.
For Milwaukee. Good.
It's interesting. They're like a different team now. Suddenly, they've got energy.
You know, it's not going to change anything, though, other than to make their losing margin a little more respectable.
For Milwaukee, they've gone 5 of 8 shooting as we've come down the home stretch in this final quarter. And the shot is good. And the Bucks lead by 13.
Well, if it wasn't already out of reach, it is now, thanks to this spurt.
Just keep on firing, man. No reason to slow down now.
It's all in by Ilyasova.
I thought he'd make that one. I mean, that's his range, and the defense nowhere to be seen.
Harris with it. Guarded now by Nash. Nash comes with the double team. Here's Sanders. Shot is
he could have
on.
made that.
Defensive work there by Young. Los Angeles has gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Nash drives in. There's the feed to Kaman. Good, and the assist goes to Nash.
You know, when the size advantage is that pronounced, you know, that's exactly what you should do offensively in this situation. Take it strong to the middle.
Now here is Harris.
All the way, all the way, all the way. Oh.
With the layup. And so it's the Bucks taking care of business in this one. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, Kevin Harlan saying see you next time.
Thanks for stopping by.
I'm tired of this
As you
dude,
know, it's
bro.
important for me to regularly check in with all of our players. So, how you feeling about the team at this point of the season?
Look, I feel like I have a good handle of the offense now and the overall system coach has in place. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to stand out with the amount of touches I'm getting, you know?
You have been a real asset to the team, but what player doesn't want the ball more? There's only so many touches to go around.
Yeah, I know. But look, I think my situation's different. I mean, I'm still young. My game's evolving every day. Bottom line is, the more opportunities I get, the more I can help this team win games.
I'll tell you what. I'll talk to Coach, see what we can do. Now, I can't promise anything, but I'll do my best to get you some additional touches.
All right. That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
In the meantime, just keep doing what you've been doing.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
No doubt.
Still the third player. That's a good thing. I'm still the third player. Yes, sir.
The fasten seatbelt sign is now illuminated. Please buckle up and prepare for landing. Welcome to Salt Lake City.
Alright, if you enjoyed the video, my name is Jaquavius Leonard Harris. We'll be versing the Utah Jazz on the next video. But what I want you to do, if you don't want to leave a like or comment, that's fine with me. As long as you watch the video, you okay. Nothing wrong. I'm not gonna get upset. None of that. Cause we just trying to stay positive. But if y'all enjoy the gameplay, that's good. That means y'all watching the videos. I really want to start on the right foot though. The right foot and the right hand. Yeah, man, we'll go up against the Utah Jazz, and that's gonna wrap it up. I'll catch you guys in the next video.